We are going to remove the shame from having the conversation and say it out loud. Sometimes being a mom freaking sucks. I'm Tanisha, the VBS life coach, and let's get into it. Not enjoying every part of being a mom does not make you a bad mom. There are things that were great in theory. They were great when you were pregnant, when you visualized who you would be as a mom. But once the kids actually came and you started getting to know them, you realized sometimes you don't know what to do with them. You don't know what you're doing. You don't understand why they're acting that way. It's okay to admit that. Both things can be true at the same time. You can both love being a mom and hate certain aspects of it. So what does not enjoying motherhood even really mean? It's really when you think about those day-to-day tasks and those behaviors you don't know how to manage that drive you crazy. Because when your kids are happy and doing exactly what you want them to do, and you're doing fun things together, you absolutely love it. It's the other stuff that gets in the way of you being able to enjoy it. And it's the other stuff that I'm here to help you manage and make it through and get the tools to develop in yourself and in your kids. There's a lot of conversation happening right now about mental load and how much moms are carrying the weight of our responsibilities, how everybody else is feeling, how everybody else is doing, why we're the only ones doing the things that need to be done. And it can be overwhelming, and that can make motherhood really hard and make you feel trapped in it because you feel like you're in it alone. You're surrounded by people and you're alone. And then there's this societal pressure to be this happy, perfect mom who packs her kids into the car and takes them to all of the soccer games and the baseball games and the track meets, and you do all the dance recitals and all the things, and you just smile and get the snacks for the other kids and be cheery. And when you're not that, you feel guilty for not being that, when really it's just like, but I'm tired. I'm tired of paying for these things. I'm tired of shuttling children to these things. I'm tired of sitting here in the sun. I'm tired. And it's okay. I get it, because I was that mom. We ask ourselves this question of, am I wrong for not enjoying motherhood or not enjoying it as much as I thought I would? And that all comes from this societal idea that we are born to be mothers and we should just live to be moms and make children happy. And that's just not how it works. Motherhood is not fulfilling 24/7. It's just not. And self-care is a buzzword, but nobody really shows us how to work that in to real life mothering. In my book, The Real Pain of Stress, I talk about how I didn't have a way to regulate my stress. And then that showed up in the ways that I was interacting with my family, the things that I was nitpicking about, and really taking bubble baths and getting massages and going to get my nails done didn't do anything that was lasting. And then I figured out my own system for truly managing my thought processes around stress and eliminating as many stressors from my plate as possible. And that has been working for me now for the last 4 to 5 years. And I gotta say, when you get beyond just temporary relief and really eliminate stress by dealing with the root causes of things, it is a game changer. It changed my entire life, and it changed the life and dynamic that my son and I have. So dealing with your stress is so important, because the way you deal with your stress is the way you parent. We have all these emotions that we're afraid to talk about, like the fact that we feel resentful toward our families, our kids. It's almost as if we're not allowed to be human and go through the range of emotions anymore. So then we just keep things to ourselves, because if I tell somebody, they're going to judge me. They're going to think I'm a bad mom. And then you have all your well-meaning friends and relatives who tell you how you should be raising your kid, what you should be doing, what you're doing wrong. And quite honestly, you don't want to hear it. And especially if you grew up with that old school punitive parenting, and they're just judgmental about the way you're trying to parent now when you're trying to break cycles. And so my job now, or my mission, is to show everybody it doesn't matter which parenting technique you're into, conscious, gentle, authoritative, whatever. The main idea here is that we're not doing damage to our kids that they have to heal from. Therefore, damage-free discipline. And if you want to learn more about that, I'll put a link in the description. But that's about raising your kids in a way that you honor who they are, you honor their biological development, and you do the best you can. And you lead from a place of decisive grace instead of just being harsh and angry and aggressive and stressed out all the time and taking it out on them. Let's talk about where the pressure to be a perfect mom even comes from. A lot of that is from inside, and we are comparing ourselves to what we saw our mothers and grandmothers and aunts do. And it's like, okay, well, my mom did all these things and she never complained. My mom did all these things and she never got a break. So if I feel like I need a break, I'm not good enough. I'm not doing this right. And that's not true. She was suffering in silence, or she was doing stuff that we don't know about because she kept it to herself. But it doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong because you feel like you need something different or something that you didn't see. And then we have this idea of who a mom should be based on what we see on TV, and we hold ourselves up to these unrealistic standards from TV and what we see on Pinterest and Instagram and YouTube. And it's like, oh, am I doing this wrong? I can't be doing this right if they're making it look so easy. But we're looking at either made up stuff or just a small snippet of what people allow you to see, not the real deal. And people aren't saying, you know what? Today, my kid got mouthy and I popped him right in it. And that's real. That's what's happening in a lot of our households. And people don't want to just say that. So now let's talk about how to actually enjoy motherhood again. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is reframe the way you think about enjoying motherhood. If it's the tasks that bother you, change the language. It's not that you don't enjoy motherhood. You don't enjoy doing that menial work. And as much as you can, try to outsource it. Try to use technology and the other things at our disposal to make that part a little easier. Put something on auto ship that you know you regularly need to have come to the house. You know, it's the little stuff, because then it takes that pressure off of you to have to go and lug 3-4 kids through the grocery store, or even one who's just gonna say, I want this and I want that, and mom, why can't I have this? Sometimes it's easier to they don't know where the food comes from. It just shows up here, and that's okay, because I didn't have to now take you and all of your stuff and all of the things to protect you from the germs in the cart and all. So leverage what you can to lighten your load. Look at everything that's on your plate and where can you eliminate some of the things that you're doing because they're truly unnecessary. Like for me, when I thought about the activities my son was doing, we got to limit this. You're not going to be that kid that is in school all day long and then I'm shuffling you to events 3 and 4 times a week. So you pick one thing and that's the one thing that we're doing. If you don't want to do that one thing anymore, you can do another one thing, but we're not going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff. If you want to do something like school sanctioned soccer, school related, whatever, feel free, try out, go for it. But if I have to pay for it outside of that and lug you all around, not for mommy. I'm not excited about that. And I had to be okay with knowing that that was okay with me. and that my son was going to be just fine if I didn't put him in all the things. The other reframing thing is admitting that enjoyment doesn't mean that, or fulfillment doesn't mean fun 24/7. The most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life is be a mom. But I haven't always enjoyed all the parts of it, especially the parts related to discipline and punishment, especially the parts related to worrying if my kid is okay, wondering where he is when he's not answering his phone, when he was supposed to be in the house after school and he's not there. Worrying when I put him in the car thinking he was strapped into his car seat and he spilled out onto the seat. There are moms who these things have happened to, and they don't say anything. They beat themselves up. They cry about it. They feel guilty, but they're scared to say, I spilled my baby out of the car seat today. And but that's real world. And we have to be honest so that we stop struggling so much with our mental health because we're scared to be honest and real about what's truly going through our minds, happening in our homes. Life's too short to be miserable. We need each other. We need to talk to each other. You got to own what you need and let go of this idea of being a perfect mom, because if you're measuring yourself against some level of perfection, sorry to tell you, you're never going to meet it. And then that's going to make you feel guilty because you didn't meet that bar. So more importantly, what's important to you? What do you value? Are you living in accordance with those values? How do you want to raise your kids? Are you developing yourself in the ways that'll make that possible? Make that easier for you? That's how you measure yourself. There's no one way to be a good mom. There's lots of ways to be a really bad one. But there's no one right way to mother. So decide what life looks like for you. This one is important. And I just had this conversation with a client today, and I really need to say this one. You need to find your identity outside of being a mother. Because if you don't know who you are outside of your kids, what you enjoy outside of your kids, any bit of separation is going to give you anxiety. And that empty nester stage is coming. It comes for us all. And you're not going to know what to do with yourself. And it will send you into a tailspin. You have to know who you are, what drives you, and what goals you have, what dreams you have outside of your kids, and not put that part of you on a shelf. One of the best things I ever could have done is really figure out what my dreams were and actively pursue them. And with my son seeing me actively go after what I want to do, it has inspired him and it has shown him a different side of me. And my son has told me at least 3 or 4 times in the last few months how much he admires that, how proud of me he is. And it's not because I said, oh, look at all these great things I'm doing. It's just he sees it. He sees the drive. He sees the dedication. He sees the consistent effort. He sees the long nights, the frustrated days. He sees it all. But then he understands that there's more than one path to success, and anything worth having takes work. Not because I said it, but because he's watched it. So one of the best things you can do, not only for you, but for your kids, is take care of you first and know who you are outside of them so that you can help them confidently figure out who they are and what they want to be doing. So I hope this episode has been helpful for you, in the very least, in showing you are not out here by yourself if you think motherhood is kind of crappy sometimes and you've ever felt guilty for thinking that way. I've been there. There are other moms who have been there, and you don't have to stay there. I want to leave you with some action steps, And this is going to get you through to the next episode. So I'm going to take a look at my notes and share those things with you. The first one is get your journal and write down what are the top 3 things about motherhood that you dread and why. Then pick one of those things and change your approach to dealing with that thing. Get some help, use your tech, set a boundary, whatever it is that needs to happen with that one thing. Just focus on that one thing. Find little opportunities to have fun. It can be by yourself or it can be with your kids. But just, even if it's 10 minutes, find some opportunity in your day to enjoy it on purpose. And the last thing is just check in with yourself at the end of the day and ask yourself, where did I have joy today? What did I enjoy and love about my day? And I promise you, the more you look for those moments, the more you're going to start to see them. And the more you see them, the more you're going to want them, the more you're going to create them on purpose. I want you to just remember that you are not by yourself. You are not doing a bad job because you feel like motherhood is hard and it stinks. And you do have support out there. And if you are looking for ways to lead your household, I have a program that I am just releasing called Lead Like a Mother that starts April 23rd. And it's all about stepping into your role as the Chief Empowerment Officer of your home and how to lead it with decisive grace and have kids who respect you because of the way you operate instead of fear you because of the way you yell and scream and hit. So if that's something that sounds like what you need, take a look. I'll put the link in the description. But if you're listening to this, just go to vvslifecoach.com and it'll take you to my page and you can take a look at the details of Lead Like a Mother. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next week.